And we're back for our second game of the evening. Took us a while. Well, I don't know, only an hour downtime, give or take, something like that. But I think it's going to be worth it because we get our first look at 6.78. I'm not going to lie, I'm scared. I'm scared. Blitz is joining me for the broadcast. And yeah, man, everything's different. I don't like change.
5 seconds.
Nor do I, man. I hate change. It's scary. I don't know. I have to adapt in things, and new heroes are out. It's a really scary time, buddy.
Well, while we're waiting, and by the way, the new pick and ban phase will be in effect, meaning it's going to go 2-2, 2-2, 1-1, and that alone is pretty gigantic. And I'll tell you the one that actually kind of stands out to me a bit is the ward nerf at the beginning as well. Only one set of wards going to be available for the first few minutes of a game. Like, I mean, there's just so much that's going to change so much, but those are, you know, I mean, I'll let you cover it. Tell you what, our professional player, pro caliber analyst, tell me from a professional player's point of view, Blitz, what is really the standout changes coming in here?
The ban phase means that first pick isn't as strong as it used to be. It evens it out a little more, and it makes it so that being first pick isn't as big of a deal as it once used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ward nerf obviously does mean that you're going to see more dynamic play and people having to rely more on map awareness rather than being able to just have the entire map kind of open to them and being able to see everything. I mean, I'd have to look over the patch notes. I know AUI and Luminous actually made a patch note video, so if you actually want to see the a full analysis of it, but those seem to be the major ones, yes, for sure. And the one on Lifesteal is pretty big too, because I think that hero really needed a nerf.
Yeah, what he's referring to is the range on open wounds has been severely reduced and now increases almost like Burrow Strike, really. It now increases with each level, which is, of course, going to not eliminate, but certainly it's going to take a little bit of a toll on how strong he feels in the early laning phase, especially operating out of an offensive tri lane. I mean, he still can, you know, it can still work. But the idea of a Lifestealer being up front and, you know, last-hitting creeps in the other team's defensive tri-lane playing back terrified because if they take one step even remotely close to the creeps, they're in open wounds range. Those days are now behind us.
Yeah, it makes it really difficult for a Lifestealer to be the one that initiates, and you can't just stick him with one support anymore, and you need a support that initiates for him now. So it makes it a little more difficult for him to just pick off heroes left and right. I mean, the hero was so good before, and it still really is. But before he was almost overpowered. Actually, he was overpowered, and now he's still pretty fantastic because of the rage, but it's gotten a little easier just in terms of the laning phase.
Right. Well, the first pick, Darkseer, you know, go back to what you know, right? It's been a while since I've seen, well, that's a lie. Every now and then you'll see a team first pick a DS. Doesn't happen nearly as much as it used to, but everyone, you know, these players trying to figure this stuff out as much as we are. I'm trying to think of all the big ones. I mean, there's so much interesting stuff we can talk about. Bad Rider had his vision nerf. There's that, but we're not going to see that. Doom and Necrolite are the two that the two scepter buffs, which are really, really cool. Would love to see one of those two heroes. Don't know that we will because this is still competitive. I mean, this is still a game with some stuff on the line. We're going to see DK picked up. I honestly can't remember if he got buffed or nerfed or if he was left entirely alone.
The dragon form is actually a lot better now.
Oh, I remember
poison,
level 2.
Yeah, the poison applies now at the level 2 dragon. So you get a splash, meaning that you can actually stab camps and do them. And at the same time, you can still level it and get the pushing power out of it as well.
Yep, now I remember, yeah. And that's such a big deal. It's so easy to underestimate just how much pushing power Dragon Knight has with his level 1 ulti, just because the damage over time functions on towers as well. I hadn't even thought about the ability to nuke down camps, and this feels weird. It feels like the draft's broken. Why do they ban? Yeah, I'm used to seeing 3 by now, 3 on each side. But anyway, but yeah, that's actually a really interesting point. And completely forgot about that. Really looking forward to seeing the new DK in action. Then Shadow Demon, Darkseer, Nyx Assassin, the other 3/4 of our opening 4 draft. And, you know, the mainstays and so on and so forth. I suspect it's going to be in the second phase and in those last picks in particular when we're really going to see some fascinating stuff come out. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, that Dragon Knight one, as you mentioned, actually is a pretty big deal. The bottle nerf is now in, and if they decide to run DK mid, that's actually going to have a pretty big effect on his viability there.
Yes, it's no longer just spam out
10 seconds remaining.
the breathe fire to
Yep.
flash farm. You actually have to kind of bottle control and
5
rune control.
seconds remaining.
The thing I don't like about that nerf though is it makes it really dependent on rune luck. Because if your supports guard one side and their supports guard another, then it comes down ultimately to a coin flip, which I don't really like. I wish there's kind of a way to balance that out better. But the bottle nerf, I feel, was kind of necessary because it made mid so kind of it kind of stagnant.
Right.
It did open up the pool of heroes a little more in terms of who could play mid, but at the same time, it made it impossible for people to die as long as they just kind of spammed repeatedly.
Right. And yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, it's kind of even hard, and this is something I wondered about. It's going to be kind of hard to fill some of the draft time in from a commentator's point of view because, like right now, we get to talk about the patch with just 2 heroes out on both sides right now. There's really not a whole lot we can talk about. I mean, it's like unless it's just obvious. I mean, now that we're getting down to the next 2 picks, we can start to talk a bit. So, I mean, even the rhythm that has been developed over the last year or more now in terms of how to, from a commentator's point of view, to talk about the draft, even that's going to take some readjusting. So all of us learning a bit. Meenix grabbing up the Chen. They're going to have some pretty potent push potential. That's a lot of P's. And Chen and Dragon Knight, of course, as you had mentioned, and as we've kind of covered already, DK already had some pretty decent push potential with the level 1 Elder Dragon form. Now, with Chen and with his new and improved level 2 ulti, expect to see them trying to make things happen early.
Yes, a lot of push potential on this side. I'm actually really interested about this kind of draft now. It looks really cool because, you know, you don't really get to set up lanes and stuff like that. So it makes kind of picking against the heroes available really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what you can do with that. I really like that. I think right now, Artyk and Meenix, maybe they're a little fumbling because, I mean, the patch just did update for them, so they didn't actually have time to even practice or think. I'm sure as a team they might have like glanced over it, but I'm sure they weren't aware that this was going to happen to them right before this game. Dignitas plays after this, right?
Yeah, Dignitas will be playing against Meenix. Yeah, because they already played
So
Artyk.
they should actually have some advantage being able to kind of discuss the way that this is going to work for them. And even take into account some of the patch notes, some of the heroes that did get buffed. Like Kunkka actually saw a significant buff with the boat. And the X being a lower mana cost. And Shadow Demon actually received what I like to see is a very good nerf. The hero's still pretty fantastic since Disruption is one of the high skill cap abilities. Demonic Purge still goes through BKB, which makes it fantastic for shutting down carries. But his base intelligence got lowered by 3, meaning it's harder to do that really greedy Shadow Poison build. And on top of that, Shadow Poison got nerfed as well. It just
very slightly.
I actually think it's a significant one because what made it fantastic was that you could chase people down no matter what. And you'd always see where they were. And the Shadow Poison lasts forever. So in a team fight, if you hit everyone with the Shadow Poison, then your carrier, whoever's doing all the damage, knows where everybody is at all times and can make decisions based on that. I think that's actually really significant.
Yeah, when you phrase it like that, I think you actually make a great point. I hadn't really thought of it that way. I thought of it more as a convenience nerf, you know what I mean? Just to take away a little bit of an edge that Shadow Demon in that case wasn't really justified in having, given how effective he is at other things, as you've already mentioned. But when you phrase it that way, and again, that's why we have you on and why I'm always proud to have you on now and in the future, you know, giving us that pro insight. So Naga Siren will be joining us, courtesy of Artyk, as they pick her up. Nature's Prophet going to add to Meenix and their push potential. So looking at the way things are looking for Meenix, I don't know that we can assume that's a mid DK. One would think it is, though. Chin in the jungle, Prophet. I mean, the thing is we're beginning to run. I mean, they've got the DK. It's been a long time, actually, since I've seen a tri-lane DK. You just don't see it all that often. There it is. All right, get to see one of the new fun heroes with one of the more interesting buffs of all the heroes in the pool, Necrolite. And for those not in the know, Necrolite, and it's a very end-game oriented buff, which I think is a lot of fun. And it's a really unique take. I think I'm more excited by the direction Ice Frog decided to go with the buffs to him and to Doom than I am the actual buffs themselves. But nonetheless, Necrolite's ult, a couple of things. One, if he casts it, there is that weird wind-up time where the scythe winds up before it crashes down. If he casts it and the target dies to somebody else while it's being cast, he registers the kill, which helps him snowball a bit. But more importantly, if he registers a kill with that scythe, be it that way or be it the legitimate way, that hero is then prevented from buying back into the game once he has a scepter up. Very potent in-game ability. Yeah,
it's really good for the late game, but at the same time, the damage is still pretty awful. I think it's actually one of the worst Ags upgrades in terms of what it gives you. The cooldown thing is pretty fantastic, but I mean, the damage increase is so little for how much it costs. And then on top of, I mean, I guess it's kind of cool because whoever plays them, their KDR is going to look pretty good. So I actually like that from a player like myself, because in pub games I'm going to get 20 kills because I'll just cast the ult every time no matter what. But I think the Ags upgrade is... I think it's neat that he's giving everyone Ags upgrades, Aghanims upgrades, but at the same time it seems like kind of a weird one. I think the damage does need to get buffed just a little bit, because I feel items like Shiva's Guard, even working towards a sheep stick, or getting a defensive item, or even getting a bloodstone would be better on a hero like Necro at this point than rushing something like an Aghanims.
Right. Well, we are going to see a Drow Ranger picked up as well, and I think that's actually going to be a mid Drow Ranger. Just looking at the way the lanes are likely to work out, are they going to actually? Are they going to tri lane this Drow? Looks like they are. They're going to put Ewo on it, and they're going to end up. Yeah, they're going to run smash mid on the Naga.
That's an interesting decision, but I mean, he does have the early bottle build, and the only difficult thing is the base damage on Naga is so terrible still. It's actually it's what, 48. It's one of the worst ones I've seen in quite some time, and they did buffer recently.
UI bugged? I can't click on heroes.
Oh really? No, mine works perfectly fine.
All right, tell you what we're gonna do, guys. I can, like, if I box and select them, I can select them, but I can't actually click on a hero.
Oh yeah, I have to do that too.
Yeah.
So, that's how I always select them though.
Yep. Sec. Forecasters. Let us
30 seconds to battle.
Us rejoin. PP, please. Yay! All right. So I'm going to pop you guys to the front, and I'm not going to turn the music on because I don't think we're going to have to do that, but we all are going to rejoin. Nothing more fun than casting on patch day, Blitz.
Fantastic. Especially like right before our game was going to start too. That was the worst.
I'm actually just going to restart Dota entirely just to make sure that I don't end up leaving.
Let me know if that works.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then I'll just stay in the game. But the interesting thing about Naga mid though is that Riptide is 10-second cooldown on levels. It's really easy to push people out, farm that way. So not the worst mid anymore. Is that the only buff she received? I thought she had another one.
I know is the Riptide one's the one that comes to mind. They really, like you said, lower the cooldown. And I can't remember what else. Let's see if I can reconnect.
Maybe that is the only one. I'm looking at it right now.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like that was the only one. But a pretty significant one, considering it was 19 seconds at level 1, and now it's 10.
Right. Cutting it in half. I mean, mana management's still going to be a problem. Just makes Aqualay all the more valuable to rush out, especially to make her a little bit more survivable. And what do you think of... Well, let me see if I can log in. Yeah, I can't click, like... Yeah, still can't, I don't think. I can box them, but I can't click them.
Hard life.
Yeah. So we'll figure out what we can do. I'm informing them as what's going on. Sorry, guys. And patch day Dota. Always fun. Especially for casters.
You can still click the portraits if you want to, like, get to somebody really quickly.
Okay, yeah. We'll just do that then.
Yeah, that's normally how I do it anyways. Volvo disband. Nice.
Valve, stop! Anyway, guys, we'll hopefully... yeah, looks like we are going to get rolling. We're just going to have to cope with this. How we can't hear his casters.
Fantastic.
Always fun. But, anyway. Taking a look at where things are going to wind up as the trees respawn as well. We're going to have... I'm just going to run through the lineups. Hell with it. We're going to have Misko playing on our Shadow Demon. Played a very, very good Clockwork in their win over Dignitas just about an hour ago. Smash, setting up shop in mid. Smash, the pretty consistent mid player for Artyk. Darkseer, going to be handled by Mihawk this time around. Keeper of the Light, going to be played by Musuko. And Drow Ranger, going to be farmed. That's the word I'm looking for. Farmed by Ewo. On the other side of the river, we got the Prophet. Handled by Tiao. Looks like he's going to be heading into the jungle. Fuzzy will be setting up shop in mid as predicted. So going up against that Naga Siren. Nyx Assassin. Going to be played by Geezy, the surprise pick, making us all happy. That's going to be China. And he's actually going to be farming this Necro out of this lane up here. That's fun because a lot of the speculation was about exactly where Necro might wind up in pro games, 1, 2, what have you. Looks like he's going to be on the 1 at least here today. And Shen, going to be played by Cobb.
Actually, really surprised to see the Nature's Prophet started this top lane in the jungle here. I think he could have pulled the creeps, which is what most Nature's Prophets do, but he opts to just kind of start in the jungle. Maybe worried that they'll be able to kill the creeps. I think he could have been able to do it, though. What I mean, though, is you just summon trees, run them into the middle of the lane, pull the creeps out, force them to you. It should be easy enough, but opting not to do that. And actually, Hawk is being able to play pretty high up here just because he knows there's nothing to really be afraid of until Chen gets a net creep.
Right.
And before that, I mean, the level 1 stun on Ruby and Assassin is so bad, it only lasts for a second.
Yep.
It does 80 damage, so nothing to really be worried about in terms of that.
Just about level 2, at which point he will have Surge and Cobb and Tiao giving each other a high five as they move through the jungle. Down here, I mean, the Naga Siren, I mean, when I look at this, given the Naga this much priority in mid, as compared to a Drow Ranger, one would think, especially with the Bottle Crow nerf being in effect as of right now. Hold on, they are going to spin the Impale. They grab Mihawk. Here comes the Centaur, and the Centaur was actually baited into a bad stomp. Mihawk cannot get around, and there it is. Might be first blood. China will be able to clean him up, so China gets the kill, give our first blood to our first post-patch Necrolite. Make it 1-0. Meenix takes the lead.
That was a weird death.
Wasn't it?
I think if he just kind of straight ran back, he would have been okay. But it's pretty fancy there, I guess. But Mihawk just going to run away. Naga's actually doing quite well mid. He's got 14 CS against the Dragon Knight, who's only got 6. And it looks like he's just spamming crap out of Riptide and not being able to really do anything fuzzy.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing, basically. Drow Ranger's already
really mana efficient.
Okay, destroyed a tower. Okay, I thought that was another bug. They take a tower down. Sorry, guys, we're all a little disjointed. Like, it's really messing with me not being able to click on heroes. Like, really messing with me. But, Naga Siren sitting atop the CS right now, sitting at 16, 15 for the Prophet. We got 15 on the Drow Ranger, plus a tower. So he will off to a great start. He's got 1,300 gold in the bank already. And we'll see if he just wants to straight up buy a set of treads or what. Mihawk is trying to challenge the jungle out of top. But, I mean, looking at this lineup, with Smash, if he's able to get off to continue this good start and really start to put the pressure on, I've been trying to watch for the bottle crowing. And that's a full bottle, so that won't matter. Have you happened to catch the courier bringing the bottle? I just want to see if it's visually, like, a lot more slow.
It looks significantly slower. I thought you only got 2 charges back.
No. It's the speed of the courier speed with an empty bottle is slower now.
Oh, is that the only thing?
Yep. So
okay.
what we
For some reason, I thought it was you only got 2 charges. I don't know why.
Yep. So
oh, never mind. I know why I thought that now.
Why is that?
If it's a full bottle, it's slow. So somebody was saying if you just like left a charge on the table.
No. If it's empty. If it's empty.
If it's empty, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So if you just left a charge.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was 2/3 for some reason.
Yeah, I just saw that thing. Look at this. Look how slow it is. I saw that thing crawling. Wait till this wears off. And
it's
yes,
speed burst too. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as it got the bottle, it was crawling. That's going to be done just about the time it gets back there. And there we go. Now watch this thing. It's full now, so we won't be able to see it. Yeah, now it's going to be normal speed, but those who were watching closely saw right when it got the bottle on it and was starting to make its way back to the base, it was absolutely crawling.
Is it only when it's empty?
Yeah, only when it's empty.
I should reread that thing. But Smash doing quite a good job here. It's really hard for Fuzzy to do anything just because the 4 negative armor that Riptide gives you right now makes it so that he can trade right-click so efficiently. And he has a better mana pool than Dragon Knight does, as well as the Riptide only costing... right now it only costs 100 mana at level... well, it does scale upwards, but still 100 mana for 190 AoE damage, hitting everything with 4 armor reduction makes it really easy.
Disruption from Misko. They're going to try and make something happen here. They get behind him. He's actually trapped by the illusions. Now he's going to head down the river, or try to, and Snare keeps that from happening. Gets a stun off, but that's going to be his final dirge. As he does end up dropping, Artyk finds their way onto the board. That DD, very fortuitous for Smash to have had, and good help from Misko rotating over. We're all knotted up, making it 1-1.
The farm advantage, though, is really going the way of Artyk right now. They've got the top CSer in Dro. She has a tower on top of that. She's got treads, 900 gold, a Wraith Band, doing so well for herself. She's going to be able to 4-shot supports at the rate she's going. And Smash is absolutely dominating mid right now. He's got 33 CS to Dragon Knight's 19, and Dragon Knight has 0 denies, meaning that Smash should be fully leveled. And yeah, he's actually level 7.5 right now, which is absolutely insane for somebody at mid.
And the Dragon Knight is actually a fresh 6, so you're talking a full level and a half advantage. We're going to see Meenix trying to make something happen in bottom. They will find a keeper. And that's going to be spotted. Matsuko didn't see him. He's just continuing to lay into him there. And they're instead going to focus their attentions on the Drow Ranger. Iwo at about half health. And they're going to go ahead and pull back as night comes. So vision not the best. And looks like they're biding their time, at least for the moment. Necro, in the meantime, has continued to just farm up. He's not in too bad a shape, 28. And there is no way for me to check my Dota TV sound. I mean, I could do this. 1 second, guys. Sorry you have to see this. It looks good to me. That's all I can check. If it's busted, it is not my fault. It was working before the update. Blame Valve. Blame Gate.
How buggy. I think China's actually just going to go for a mech, and maybe they start pushing with the level 6 Dragon Knight.
Yep.
The kill score is 101, but the tower gold kind of offsets the advantage. It's 3k in favor of the Radiant already. And the CSing, actually, they're going to go on top.
And we're going to see the engagement. China making a run. There's an Illuminate that's off the mark. Is taking a bit of damage, but will end up making it back to safety. So keeps himself alive here in mid. Geezy, I think, was spotted there. Yeah, Smash spotted it and has got the hell out of dodge wisely. His Shin was there as well. Yeah, I got to admit, I'm not paying quite as much attention to the actual games. I probably should be. I'm bouncing around looking for new stuff to talk about. But anyway, back to Meenix. Like you said, I mean, the Dragon Knight right now, he's certainly not doing all that great here in mid. He's got a bottle, a set of boots, and not even enough to finish treads if he wanted, compared to Smash, who is living up to his name, smashing the face of Meenix at the moment. It's going to be pretty hard to push in, though. I mean, she's already level 8, which means she'll be to level 2 ulti pretty soon.
Oh, bottom.
And in bottom, we're going to have...
Wow, what a silence.
Here comes the big reaction. Iwo pulls back. There's a disruption. Looks like they want to re-engage. And Cobb being pursued out. Mihawk's right on his tail. Doesn't have a lot of mana. Illuminate does connect. They will get him. So another kill going the way of Artyk. Good reaction coming out there. They're going to go ahead and continue to... Well, it looked like they wanted to pursue this out. Little miscommunication there as the Surge sent her flying backwards. But 8 minutes in...
Iwo just levels that silence, and then he manages to silence the Nyx right as he comes in for the stun.
Oh,
what a
nice
play.
Got there just a little bit too late to catch it. The gold, 3,000 to the advantage right now of Artyk. The experience moving that direction as well. So they're off to a great start. And wow, Drow Ranger already has a helm of the Dominator up. That's going to make her so hard to deal with. You know, not just for obvious reasons. The fact that she gets that bonus armor. She has 14 armor already. And we're just 8.5 minutes into this game. And now with 1 point into her ulti, she's doing what Drow Ranger does, which is hit absurdly hard for this stage of the game.
And China looks like he's actually going to go for a point booster. So this looks like an... I sound really confused right now because I think he should be getting a mech. The Chen doesn't look like he's in any position to get a mech. And I think getting an Axe Scepter benefits you pretty hard late game. But from an early game standpoint, I mean, the damage is so negligible and the buyback isn't too huge. Maybe this is just kind of an all-out GG push strategy coming from Meenix, where once they get the Ags, they'll just straight up push and try to go for racks immediately.
Yep. Either way, these guys are showing us what we want to see. Everyone wanted to see either the Necrolite or the Doom or both. Or Centaur. Centaur did go into Captain's mode as well. But yeah, I'm a pretty happy camper. I got to see one. I'm okay with that. Fuzzy continuing to struggle. And there's going to be an ensnare under his own tower. Don't know that it matters a ton. Never mind. There's a disruption as Misko shows up the Illuminate. Does a bit of damage. Riptide, more damage. And Prophet getting involved in the fight. He's going to sprout himself in with Smash. Smash is going to have to blow his ulti. And he just leveled that. Just took a point into it. His level 9 point just went into that. So able to bail himself and his buddies out after playing a little bit too aggressive. Problem is, Artyk continuing to just pile on the CS. Iwo already with
Dire's
a
bottom tower is
actually
under
that's
attack.
I gotta remember that I have to actually box these heroes, but already back up to 726 gold after treads, after Helm and the Dominator. I mean, you look at the net worth, she's already up at 4,500. Next closest is her own teammate in Smash, and below that, trailing by almost 1,000, is the Necro, handled by China in the farm position.
He does have 1,000 gold. I'd like to see an Ogre X. Don't play so greedy. Yep, looks like that's what he's actually going to get. Mihawk looks like he's going to go for a mech. Maybe even get a pipe this game. That wouldn't be too bad in terms of this lineup, but I imagine I'd see a mech. Yasha going to come out on Smash, which is pretty fantastic farm considering he was mid. And Fuzzy actually has nothing, opting to instead try to gank. And it looks like they don't see it coming, but they sense a gank coming.
They're going to be running through the Radiant side jungle. They have a chance to catch one directly to the south. That one would be Wasuko on Chen.
Oh, don't go for the CS.
Iwo
Dire's
falling
middle
back.
tower is under attack.
And here they come. They're going to go for divide and conquer. They're going to be able to get one. Here comes the Prophet as well. Helps behind him. Misko doing what he can. There's an Illuminate that caught everyone. Blinding Light going to buy just enough time. Iwo's going to be able to make it away now. The cat barks at the dog, and Smash is absolutely clean in house. Vacuuming in the ensnare, and with that haste rune, Fuzzy not long for the world either. Gigantic turnaround as Smash nets himself an 11.5-minute ultra kill and a beautiful turnaround based almost entirely on this guy right here, Musuko. Hitting the downtown Julie Brown Illuminate. Came from nowhere, clipped the entire team, then followed it up with the Blinding Light, allowed Iwo to get away, and by then it was all over but the crying.
Yeah, and shout out to the Shadow Demon, played by Mystico. He actually knew it was coming, even though they had no vision of it. They kind of just guessed, and Mystico just waited and waited and waited, able to land a disruption on this row, and then on top of that, Iwo lands the 4-man silence, allowing him to live. So fantastic play by both those players as well, setting them up, smash up for that ultra kill.
Beautiful play and a considerable lead gonna be their reward. And Necrolite working out of the one position, not so well. He is just rushing that axe. I love it. I'm gonna give this guy a high five because I begged for it. I told him I wanted to see Doom or Necro with an axe in this game, or I was gonna be upset. And Meenix, not one to disappoint, trying like hell to show us exactly what we want to see. Back to Smash. Yasha's already done. Could be a defusal on the way as he's added another Blade of Alacrity. Mihawk gonna end up dead. I don't think he got the kill there, actually. Yeah, that was Prophet that actually took that, so there's that weak level 1 ulti you were talking about.
Yes, and he's actually kind of close to the Aghanims, actually. He's probably getting it around 15 minutes, especially if they get a tower. But Smash is so farmed. They're gonna go in on mid 2 on Fuzzy.
Fuzzy ensnared. Smash going to eat the Dragon Tail. There's a disruption to buy time. Soul Catcher going to increase the damage. Here comes Shin going to try to help out. Fuzzy trying to TP away. Not fast enough. DD on Smash is, yeah, playing a pretty darn good Naga Siren. There we go. Finally got the word out. But DDs tend to help as well. God, I hate having a box. But yeah, we'll end up being a defusal. So Smash is getting large and in charge mighty quick. 7,100 net worth. He's already just about at 75% or at 175% of his next closest competitor in China, who's just at 4,700.
Yeah, and on top of that, we don't even talk about the Dro yet, who's got a Yasha and a Helm of Dominator, putting out over 200 damage a hit. Looks like they're going to go on top too. With Frost Arrows and Silence, they should be able to bring her down, but...
Sentry Ward spots out.
Sentry timing.
There's the Silence as well. They got the Vendetta off and not going to get much more off. Will be healed up by China, actually. He's still alive for the moment. Carapacing, keeping alive. Just line. That's fairly well played, actually. As they're going to be able to chase them out. The Urn Charge going to be popped. Here comes the TP. Looks like he was thinking about it. And Masuko waiting in the wings, so they do decide to fall back. But Meenix able to at least hold the line, stop the bleeding, even if you're not ready to cauterize the artery.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Smash is just going to push out bottom, and he's going to have a defusal after this tower as well. At 14 minutes, he's going to have a defusal. Yasha treads in a bottle.
It's okay. It's all right.
He's doing all right.
Yeah, it's hanging. It's okay. Good. It's decent farm.
He's hanging in there.
How many lasts?
Catching up.
He's actually got less than the Drow Rangers. A sick part. He's just got 1 billion kills. He's 5-0-1, and he got 4 of them all at once. But 15 minutes in, the Prophet has his Midas. It's kind of hard to check items whenever you can't just bounce and click. I'll do it this way. Darkseer working on his mech, actually has it complete, so he's got the recipe back at the house and the 500 gold in the bank. Not much for the keeper, not the best game, though he has had some big plays. Prophet is mentioned. DK really the one suffering and on the bad end of Smash's adjective, or Smash's verb, I guess is the way to put it. Just really struggling throughout this game. I see they actually shrunk the UI alerts in the bottom right there about items. That's actually a pretty good change, I do believe. But back to China. China's going to have his Ags in about 300 gold, man. We're actually going to get to see it complete. Ensnare on the
Are you actually excited to see it? It's going to be so weird.
Oh, there we go. I want to be the where you realize we're the first professional Dota casters who are going to see an Ags on Necro, right? Like in the world.
And then we're going to see how little it does.
I don't care. I want to claim that.
I know. I'm just trying to be a buzzkill. It's just such a weird buff.
I don't care.
It's actually a really cool buff, though, if you think about it. It doesn't make the hero overpowered, but it makes it kind of neat. I just don't like the idea of getting it first, that's all. Oh.
Fuzzy in trouble. Chin's healed. Not going to prevent the Illuminate from cleaning him off the board. And now Chin going to be netted. And Naga Siren looking like a good hero. Not going to lie. This is the best Naga I've seen since the day she went in. It's funny. The day Naga was patched into the game, I was casting that day, too, and saw Naga first pick. On the very first day, Drow Ranger is going to do what Drow Ranger does, which is just get free kills. Yeah, just got a free kill. But this feels like Naga from back then. Like, obviously it helps that he's 6-0-2 and did a great job in mid, but...
Oh, bottom.
Bottom. We will have the Prophet. It's just dead. See you, Prophet. Later, buddy. Smash is wicked sick. He's 7-0-2. It's 11-2 in this game, beginning to feel a smidge out of reach. 10,000 gold. The difference favoring Artyk, the Peruvian All-Stars. 7,500. Experience favorite.
Smash can pretty much 1-on-2 any set combination in this game right now. Just because of that early defusal.
Yep.
And with the items he has right now, he'd be considered pretty farmed. But he's got 2k on top of that.
Right.
How do you deal with a hero like that? And on top of that, the Dro's gonna have her BKB any moment as well. Wait, does she actually have it?
I can't tell.
There's no way. Oh, no. She's pretty close, though. She's only 900 gold off from having a BKB. How do you engage a fight at that point? China at top?
Yep. China caught out, silenced, and Smash is just going to keep killing folks. Dude is just dunking on kids. And they're going to get another kill up here. And I'm not mouthing Meenix, by the way. I think we're all adjusting a little bit here. And it certainly doesn't help. I really, GG is going to be called. Oh, no! No, you can't call GG yet! Necro, no! No! No, GG! No, GG! Hang on! No, GG! Want Scepter! Frowny face. But, well, we are officially the first two professional broadcasters, Blitz, to broadcast a game on 6.78. How does it feel?
Exciting!
No, it feels like crap, because we didn't see a Scepter. We just saw an absolute romp. A Scepter almost built, and we can't even click on heroes. So disappointed. It's all right, though. Artyk on a roll, man. They're going to make it 2 in a row. They beat Dignitas in our first match of the evening. And by the way, I love Meenix, and I just want to throw that out there. I'm not hating on Meenix. I'm not, trying to degrade them or anything like that. I actually was talking to Blitz earlier today and said that I think Meenix is going to end up upsetting a pro team eventually. I think they've got the right combination of elements, skill, talent, decision-making, and all that to allow them to do that at some point. So just want to be very, very clear. Love the Meenix guys. Very nice guys. Not hating on them, but still I wanted a Scepter. Anyway, 18 minutes, 44 seconds, the official game time. 14-2. Artyk rolls to make it 2 in a row here tonight. Meenix will be bouncing back into action in our next game of the evening, probably coming up as soon as possible. I haven't checked the clock, but I would imagine we're over time. And Meenix will be taking on Team Dignitas coming up next. Again, last final thoughts on this historic moment. I've about called you B-Diz. That's what, see, too many B names. On this historic moment, Blitz, give me your feelings. Paint a picture for me.
How am I supposed to follow up after that?
What you need to say, you just dude, I made a bunch of dudes and send them to his base.
That was pretty great. I actually really liked seeing the Naga mid. That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
And the bottle nerf made it a lot more fun. It made it so that I think the better player was able to really kind of roll onto an advantage. And then on top of that, we got to see what a Necro with Ags first looked like, which was weird because he really needed a mech. Like, imagine if he had a mech. You can still get the Aghanims just a little later.
I don't think we need Ags in 19 minutes. I appreciate the effort.
Because nobody saves gold at that point, right?
Exactly.
So
I love it.
It's like getting an Aghanims first on Queen of Pain, right?
Yeah.
You don't have levels to abuse it. It's too early.
Like going Ags before boots, right? It's like, got my brown boots in my bottle. It's Ags time. Buy it. Staff of Wizardry.
You know what though? I 100% appreciate the effort in trying to show you. Yeah, that was awesome. Shout out to those guys. No fear.
+1 to Meenix.
Gonna go for it. Yeah, exactly. You actually, AC's not lying either. He told me that Meenix is gonna be fun to cast, and any team that's willing to go that far off the deep end, I'm 100% behind.
There you go, from the mouth of babes. Blitz gives the stamp of approval to Meenix, his 14-2 trouncing. Still fun nonetheless. Before we go, drop those locales, man. Where can they find more about you?
You can find me on twitter.com/blitz_Dota and twitch.tv/blitzdota.
He sounds so excited, doesn't he, folks? Trust me, he's a lot more fun. He's very fun to watch stream. Even though he doesn't sound excited about it, I sure am, because I enjoy watching him whenever I get a chance. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm at AC at AYESEE, and on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/ACTV. Artyk has won both of their games of the evening. We got one more left. Got to be Meenix trying to bounce back from this tough loss, taking on a tough opponent in Team Dignitas, though. Coming up next, stick with us.